I'm Sharon, and I'm from Brooklyn Center.
Did you know that as a resident of Brooklyn Center, you have an all-access pass to Northwest Community Television? You can produce your own show or help other residents create theirs.
What I like about Northwest Community Television, it's a community where I can produce my own craft shows and kids programs, as well as helping others with their shows.
Ready to produce your own TV show? Visit nwct.org. Get your all-access pass today.
This is going to be for the first show. There. So this is ready. Okay. We're going to recycle, reuse, and make something old into something new. Yep. My name is Sharon Kephart, and this is Angel, and our show is Auntie Sharon's Crafts and More. Okay, girl, are you ready? I want my viewers to look at things differently, and that's what I try to do, is I look around the house and I'll walk around and say, oh, I could use that in one of my crafts. My show is on Channel 20. It plays on Thursday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. It plays at 3 o'clock in the morning for those that are up that early, and also from 11 to noon on Friday morning.
Hi, I'm Ashley from Kids for a Better World, a nonprofit organization encouraging the empowerment of youth, supporting youth initiatives, and creating partnerships to address the needs of individuals, children, and families. Be the change.
Be the change and make the action, get involved. Be the change and make the action, get involved.
Hi, and welcome back to Come Join Me on My Comeback Journey, a show about what it's like from the point of view of someone with a traumatic brain injury. I've had on my show a guest for the last couple weeks. His name is Mark Banker, and he's a musician, singer, and he has had traumatic brain injury. He was in the Army as a paratrooper and had that experience along with some traumatic brain injury, which I just said that. I meant PTSD. One thing I want to make sure I mention that I think I forgot to mention at the last show is about brainline.org. That's a great site to go to if you are someone who has had a traumatic brain injury, or you know someone who has, or you're a caregiver of someone who has had a traumatic brain injury. It's a great site, and they have a lot of things on there that are very, very helpful. I've learned a lot of things from that site. But without further ado, I want to welcome back Mark Banker. Hi, Mark. How you doing? Thanks for coming back again.
I'm doing well, and thank you for having me back.
You're welcome. I am so excited because I have enjoyed our times together. This is our third show together, and I love your music, and I just wish we had more time. We could, I could just sit here and we could just do hours and hours and hours of music and talking about the traumatic brain injury and the impacts that it has. But we don't have hours and hours, so we have to work these in, and that's why we're doing multiple shows, so we can get them in. And so I want to thank you for being so gracious to come back and to do multiple shows with me.
Not a problem.
Well, I want to get right into this. I know you started working with the veterans, and so you, I think in 2015 in St. Cloud, did you get involved with the music therapy with the veterans back then?
Yes. I went through their residential treatment program. I was dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety and PTSD, and so I went through their treatment program. And while you're in that program, they have music therapy, and at the music therapy they put on concerts once a month with veterans that are in the various programs up there. And so I participated in the programs, and then after I completed my treatment, I ended up getting hired to work in the music therapy department. It was a therapeutic assignment for me. And so I worked with the veterans to, one, help identify those who were musicians, and then to help arrange them into musical groups and help them rehearse and put on concerts. And then they have a guitar lesson program as a part of music therapy up there. And when somebody needed a little bit of help throughout the week because their instructor wasn't there, that's more the area I enjoy, giving them little bits of help here and there.
So, I had a thought.
You did?
I did.
Really?
It
Where'd it
was
go?
there. That's it. Where did it go? I don't know. It went somewhere. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. When you were in Salt Lake City and you were doing kind of like a Western atmosphere type stuff, you sang with somebody. Can you tell us, before we get to your actual singing, I want you to tell everybody, who did you sing with?
I got to sing with Tanya Tucker
Yeah.
in a restaurant there was a great Western restaurant in Salt Lake City that was called the Wagon Master. It's now closed, but it was in a huge warehouse.
Yeah.
And when you'd walk in the front door of it, it was like walking into an old West town. And then when you walked through the town, you'd go out onto the prairie, and there's all these covered wagons and fires burning. And there were these regulars that came in there often, and I got called to their table, and they had been to Tanya Tucker's concert and backstage, and they invited her to go for dinner.
Wow.
And I had been working on learning, I think it's 8 verses that there is to Home on the Range. And I'd been, right before I came out to start playing, I'd been in the office of the restaurant going through, trying to remember all these verses. And this was before my seizure. And then I walk out, and the first table I get sent to was this table with Tanya Tucker. And they said, well, you two should sing a song together. And so I said, well, Tanya, what would you like to sing? And she said, well, how about Home on the Range? And I was like, you gotta be kidding, this is amazing. And she said, how many verses do you know? And I said, all 8. And I was just kind of smiling and kind of giggling to myself because I just kind of got them down. And she said, well, you sing lead and I'll sing harmony.
Wow.
So we sang that together in the restaurant. It was a lot of fun.
Did they take lots of pictures, I hope? Did they take videos?
I don't have a picture of it. I had her sign my guitar for me.
Oh, wow, that's
They may
very
have taken
special.
pictures, but to me, I have a particular guitar that I have had people sign over the years. Like I was an opening
that is
act for
sweet.
Martina McBride one time, and so Martina signed my guitar for me. And
Well, I know that you have 2 songs that are very special to you that you're going to sing for us right now. So as Mark gets ready, I just want to remind you again, if you would like to contact us, they'll put it up on the screen, the viewer response line, and also email me at comebackjourney@gmail.com. I had to look at it real quick because I can't remember it. And maybe you might want to be on our show. And now, without further ado, Mark, take it away.
the next song is by Trace Adkins. It's called Till the Last Shot's Fired. It's a very moving song, talking about veterans who have fought in wars from the Civil War on. And I work with a lot of veterans that have PTSD as well as myself. And it's a very moving song, and I hope you enjoy it. I was there in the winter of '64, camped in the ice at Nashville's door.
300 miles our trail had led. We barely had time to bury our dead when the Yankees charged and their colors fell. Overton Hill was a living hell. When we called retreat, it was almost dark, and I died with a grape shot in my heart. Say a prayer for peace, for every fallen sun. Set my spirit free. Let me lay down my gun. Sweet Mother Mary, I'm so tired, but I can't come home till the last shot's fired. In June of 1944, I waded in the blood of Omaha's shore. 21 and scared to death, my heart pounding in my chest. I almost made the first seawall when my friends turned and they saw me fall. I still smell the smoke, I can taste the mud as I lay there dying from a loss of blood. Say a prayer for peace, for every fallen sun. Set my spirit free. Let me lay down my gun. Sweet Mother Mary, I'm so tired, but I can't come home till the last shot's fired. I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan, and I'm still hoping, waiting, praying I did not die in vain. Say a prayer for peace, for every daughter and son. Set my spirits free. Let me lay down my gun. Sweet Mother Mary, I'm so tired, but I can't come home till the last shot's fired. Say a prayer for peace, for every daughter and son. Set our spirits free. Let us lay down our guns. Sweet Mother Mary, we're so tired, but we can't come home till the last shot's fired. This song's called Without You. It's by Eddie Vedder. Without You brings to me a thought of being without some of the problems that I've experienced in my life with TBI and PTSD, and how nice it might be to leave some of those things behind, and actually kind of have. VA's done a good job on me. I'll grow when you grow. Let me loosen up the blindfold. I'll fly when you cry and lift us out of this landslide. Wherever you go, whenever we part, I'll keep on healing all the scars that we've collected from the start. I'd rather this than live without you. For every wish upon a star that goes unanswered in the dark, there is a dream I've dreamt about you. And from afar I lie awake, I close my eyes and find I wouldn't be the same. I'll shine when you shine, faded pictures on my mind, sunsets on this ocean, but never once on my devotion. However you are, or far that you fall, I'll keep on healing all the scars that we've collected from the start. I'd rather this than live without you. For every wish upon a star that goes unanswered in the dark, there is a dream I've dreamt about you. I keep on healing all the scars that we've collected from the start. Rather this than live without you. For every wish upon a star that's unanswered in the dark, there is a dream I've dreamt about you. And from afar I lie awake, I close my eyes and find I'll never be the same without you, without you, without you, oh, without you.
I'm back with Mark Baker. He just sang two very moving songs. Let's talk a little bit about those songs.
Sure.
Especially the first song that you sang, the Till the Last Shot's Fired.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had tears in my eyes on that one.
Yeah, it's quite a song, isn't it?
It sure is.
Wish I'd written it.
Yeah. Well, tell me maybe a little bit more about that, why you chose to sing that song.
For anybody that's been deployed to a war, it stays with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that it goes back all the way to the Civil War even, because there's always this haunting that you
Mm-hmm.
have. And the song to me expresses hope that one day all that haunting will go away because there'll be peace. I'm also a realist, and I don't think that's going to happen. As individuals, you can work towards that peace in your heart and mind after having been in combat. And all we can do is continue to work for peaceful resolutions in the world.
We talked a little bit about how traumatic brain injury and PTSD kind of seems to, you don't know where one starts and where one ends,
Right.
or begins in that. It kind of, for the veterans, you have that double-edged sword going on, where you got the traumatic brain injury stuff happening and the post-traumatic stress from what you saw and the things that happened to you while you were in the service. I'm sure they play against each other.
St. Cloud, VA, I can't sing their praises enough. And they've given me so much help, and it's been a long road. It's been a difficult road, but they've given me the tools. And actually, part of it was also the Minneapolis VA. You know, none of them are perfect, but and actually, there's the Ramsey VA, right, over by Anoka. But they've all been wonderful, and the tools that have been developed, the programs to help the guys and women. That was something I wanted to share about that song, Till Last Shot's Fired. One of my favorite lines in it is near the end. All throughout the song, it's made a comment about, I forget the line, but it's about the sons. Say a prayer for peace. Anyway, it always refers to the sons, all the fallen sons, and then the last time you sing it, it's all the daughters and sons. And I think the reason it's done that way is because, although inaccurately, we've always thought it was just the men that went to war and experienced that. You know, although there was women that were on the battlefields. You know, you read about even the Civil War, where women were loading rifles for the men, and the nurses that were out there. But I just love that line of the song, especially with Afghanistan and Iraq, where there's young women that are, you know, maybe a medic out there with the infantry.
Right.
You were talking about the intertwining of TBI and PTSD, and yeah, sometimes I don't know which one is which. You know, these problems, are they PTSD? Are they TBI, seizure related? And I've kind of, unless I'm trying to sit down and diagnose and understand it, it's kind of come to a point where it really doesn't matter. They're there.
Yeah.
But, you know, from where I was a year ago, I'm doing wonderful.
That's great.
And it wasn't on my own. Lots of help.
Yeah.
Lots of help.
And I can see where you took that help that helped you, and you are now sharing that with others that need help or need a little support. And this music with the veterans is wonderful. And tell us where you're playing now.
Right now, I play the first and third Wednesdays of the month at the Champlin Broadway Pizza.
Oh, okay.
From 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then every Thursday night at the Coon Rapids VFW for happy hour from 5 to 7 p.m. And they have $3 hamburgers during that.
Ooh.
I was playing Mondays as well, and some potbelly sandwich shops, but with my mom's stroke and heart attack, I've been spending a lot more time with her, and so
Right.
cut back on those things. Prioritize.
Yes, that's right. We have to do that every so often.
Yeah, and mom's definitely a priority. So
Yes. My mom is 92 now.
wow.
Yeah. So that was, yeah. I hope I'm around that long. Oh.
Wow. Can't imagine me at 92. Can you imagine you at 92?
No, I can't, but just imagine what all that she's seen in 92 years.
Right.
A lot of changes. I want to mention the way that we got involved with each other is that one of my crew members saw an article about you in the Brooklyn Parks called Park Pages, and they did an article about you in it, and they talked about your that you had gone through the program with the veterans for traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress. I think that was the one that was
Yeah, it was actually
highlighted
a
here.
PTSD
Yeah.
program, not TBI.
Right, that's right. And then you got involved with working with the veterans out of going through the program yourself.
Yeah.
And that, I just wanted to mention that because then you and she showed this to me and thought this might be a great thing for our show since we're about traumatic brain injury and you're working with veterans who have traumatic brain injury. So thank you for coming and doing the interview so that we could find you. And then also you have a Facebook page that people can go to, and I noticed that I checked it out today, and I saw that there is some music that you have done on there. You did I have to look at my little cheat sheet here.
I'm going to have to go update that website now,
Well,
that Facebook page that you mention it.
You did a tribute to Prince on your Facebook site.
Absolutely.
And it was great. I loved it. But I think the work that you're doing with the veterans is wonderful. And even though we're out of time now, come back later. I give you my heart. And we will see you next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about music therapy and traumatic brain injury. So, bye now.
I'm Ben Utek. I played high school, college, and pro football, helping my team win the 2006 championship. My career ended after I suffered my 5th concussion. More than 1 million athletes suffer a concussion each year. The American Academy of Neurology recommends athletes thought to have a concussion be immediately removed from play and assessed by a healthcare professional trained in concussion. This isn't just about sports. It's about your brain. When in doubt, sit it out. A message from the American Academy of Neurology.
I was very impatient.
I was forgetful. I would tell people things several times.
Vision issues.
Just not being who I used to be.